Howdy, brothers. Howdy, sisters. How far life? How you fared? I will go be doing the leg anatomy. I'm going to be dropping some tips, doing simplification. You see in my journal, you go do the main work. But I'm gonna drop in a little bit of, you know, illustration down for you because the leg muscles are actually more tacky. They're not as simple as the arm muscles. So I'm just gonna draw the first, the sections. So take note, get your pen and paper out, get your pencil out, take notes. Those are like the three muscle masses for the front leg, because we're gonna start with, obviously the front leg. They're usually called the quads. It can be easily simplified. I'm gonna do the inner muscle that you see, just down there, just that, just that. Now from a side view, remember the pelvis tilted downwards. You know how it is. You know what it is. See there? That's the side muscle. It's really huge. It takes up, the quads take up a lot of space. They basically take up the most space. Then you just have the other two sections, and I added in something extra. I'm gonna see later. That's the basic shape for it. Let's do the inner thigh. I'll just gonna call it inner thigh. I've forgotten the actual names. Now you see that? It's basically just by the side of the quads. Now for the women, it's usually smaller. It can be big, but I mean compared to the men, it's smaller due to the width of the pelvis. Then you have, the hips width as well. And obviously space to give birth. So basically the circumference of the pelvis. That's how you could draw out the thick ass thighs if they're thick. But if they're pretty slim, they can see like a huge ass gap space. So simplifying them all, you can see the inner thigh is there. Then you have like the whole breadth of the quad muscles in that direction. So keep that in mind. Let's do the back. I'm gonna add in the butt. And no, I'm not gonna be making false jokes. Seriously. Let's look at the measures. So from the side, that's where we're gonna trace it out, all the muscles that make up. It follows like the pelvis head section. See that little picky side is the first. As you can see, the last one is actually the biggest muscle in the body, and I think so. It should be. It makes sense. The S is the biggest. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. Let's sketch out a man's. Okay, awkward silence. Oh, you get the idea. Pelvis is tilted, so from the back it's gonna be, facing forward. These angular markouts for like intersection of the back muscle and the pelvis. You know that space between the pelvic heads. Like I said, the muscle flows in that direction and then curves to the side of the leg, over the ligaments and bone. B. So remember, fellas, you gotta do your research on this in particular. I'm just trying to simplify it for you, simple as possible. For the women, basically the same thing. And since they got that hourglass shape, the obliques basically curve in and around with the ass cheeks. But due to the fat differential, you could have different kinds. That's why sometimes you got some asses that look like this. They're squished up inside and all that. And it just looks like the ass is getting sucked. Okay. You get what I mean? But if it's just flowing, it could look like this. Sorry. So it could look like that, normal bumble round thing. This is just getting more sketchy. But you get the idea. I don't come at me for just drawing one man's behind. For the sake of that, I'm just gonna show you a little one. It's like a butterfly shape as well. That has cheeks. So when they're squished in, you have to know. I'm not gonna do the mechanics in this video. I'm gonna do the mechanics after I do the lower section of the legs. So I'm gonna do all different kinds of mechanics. The flow, how they squish. The tilt, twist. You know what I'm talking about. So remember, 3D, draw in the direction. See that there's a cylinder. Take it to be a cylinder. Try and mark out. Take the muscles in bundles and try and mark them out. You see that you could make your gestures look organic enough. Now let's do the hamstrings. Basically, directly behind the quads and the little inner thigh muscle thingy. The hamstrings comprises of about 4 muscles, but we're not going to do all of that because they're all bundled up into like 2 majors, and the edges have like little tendons. It makes it look like a chopstick holding, I don't know, a bowl. One side obviously high, the other one low, just like we got the quads. From side view, I'm going to show you something right now. From side view, got to take note of the 2 tendons, the middle and the one from actually, the one that's coming from the hamstring itself. So you got to take note, because when you're drawing, let's say you're drawing a leg, let's say sideways, and it's like folded. See that the mid, I'm just gonna call it the mid tendon. Then you got the ham tendon, all bent in like that. As usual, line weight shading. You know what it is? Man legs and shading. The legs are very tricky, but they're very tricky. I personally don't even like drawing legs that much, but I find them fun. When you get to know them, they could actually look so cool. That's the thing about the leg muscles. It's not as basic as the arm muscle. Leg muscles got flair to it. The character could just look, it could have that vibe about it. So remember, line weight, shadowed areas, darker lines, light faced areas, lighter or thinner lines. Core shadow to map it out. You could just drag in the shapes, the shadow, everything. Shade it like shapes. Drag in the shadows. Create cast shadows, create occlusions. You have to do all of that to make your art look more solid. See that cast shadow, and I'm gonna cast it above the hamstrings. then I'm gonna shade in the hamstrings. See that? That's why sometimes you just have a whole area, shaded black, because you just have a lot of multiple cast shadows. That's like a bomb highlight. Yeah. And back to the basics. It's a simple shape. Remember, inner thigh is basically by the side. You got that little stretched up muscle. I'm not really that good with the names. I can barely remember a lot of them. I could remember a couple ones. So see that? You can mark them out. And that's it, folks. Much love. Like, comment, subscribe. And I'll be doing video for the lower section. So keep a watch out. Keep a watch out. Remember, practice the right way. Don't just practice. Practice the right way. I'll catch you later. Peace.